Um evento estranho está acontecendo em Nova Jersey, onde dezenas de drones não identificados surgiram nos céus, deixando as pessoas sem respostas. Seriam eles uma tecnologia humana secreta? Um contato alienígena que ninguém quer admitir? Ou algo ainda mais surpreendente? Tudo começou em uma noite comum quando moradores relataram ver luzes sincronizadas pairando no céu. Eram drones, mas não como qualquer um que você já viu. Esses drones, além de serem enormes, do tamanho de um carro, sobrevoavam as casas em uma altitude muito baixa, trazendo medo na população. Esses objetos voadores se moviam de forma tão coordenada e precisa que até especialistas em aviação ficaram impressionados. A questão é, quem estava controlando esses drones? Logo surgiram especulações. Alguns acreditam que eles poderiam fazer parte de testes militares ultra secretos, talvez armas de vigilância avançada ou até experimentos com inteligência artificial. Mas a explicação mais polêmica surgiu quando ufólogos começaram a relacionar o evento com um padrão de avistamento de OVNIs na região. Coincidência ou não, Nova Jersey já foi palco de avistamentos misteriosos no passado. Vídeos gravados pelos moradores mostram os drones formando padrões geométricos no céu. Alguns acreditam que esses movimentos eram mensagens codificadas, talvez tentativas de comunicação de outra civilização. Mas e se não fossem alienígenas? O governo dos Estados Unidos tem um histórico de projetos secretos, como o famoso projeto Blue Book, que investigou fenômenos aéreos não identificados. Será que estamos testemunhando o desenvolvimento de uma nova tecnologia militar? Ainda mais estranho, nenhuma agência governamental assumiu responsabilidade pelos drones. A Administração Federal da Aviação afirmou não ter registrado nada em comum nos radares, e empresas de tecnologia da região negaram o envolvimento. Isso deixou o mistério ainda mais intenso. Quem estaria por trás disso e por quê? Outra teoria que chama atenção envolve fenômenos sobrenaturais. Há quem diga que esses drones poderiam ser sondas alienígenas, estudando a humanidade sem se revelar completamente. Ufólogos apontam que eventos semelhantes ocorreram em outras partes do mundo antes de grandes revelações ou mudanças globais. Estaríamos à beira de um contato oficial com seres de outro mundo? Ou será que eles vieram para nos avisar sobre uma catástrofe global iminente? Vamos ver o que duas figuras reconhecidas na área, que são o Dr. Stephen Greer e Billy Carson, têm a dizer sobre isso.
So they control the masses on the entire planet. They know what they're doing. When they say specific things, they understand the frequency that it puts out and how it can take over the human mind, and it can program a person into a fear state. When a person gets into a state of fear, they're easily controlled. I mean, very easily controlled. And all the other things that have happened to us, all the false flags and everything prove that we bend to their will under fear. So they understand this. Think about this for a second. A civilization that's potentially 1 million years ahead of us, right, can traverse the vast distances of space and time to get all the way to Earth just to shoot little laser beams at us and try to blow us up one person at a time, and there's 8 billion of us. Doesn't make any sense. If I'm a super advanced race and I want to come and take over planet Earth, I would simply do something as simple as get some DNA from one of the people, and that's as easy as grabbing some DNA from a glass they just drank from, or getting some hair out of the sewer, analyzing that DNA and figuring out what type of thing I can create to put into the atmosphere or into the water, and within weeks, everyone's gone, okay? So nobody's coming guns blazing, battling, fighting, shooting laser beams and blowing up the military. There's never gonna be any type of a head-on battle against our military like that. They're too sophisticated. If they really wanted to do something, they would not blow us up like that. So the fact that they're going with the narrative of what we can see in our own idiom and our own limited understanding of technology and the way that war needs to be done, they're propagating this false narrative that there could be this attack via drones and probes and ships and things like that. I mean, killing 8 billion people one shot at a time. Come on, it's laughable. It's really laughable, especially for an advanced race of beings that can traverse space-time, that can traverse light years, that can bend space-time and create an Einstein-Rosen bridge and travel through wormholes. There's no way in the world they're gonna come here with a bunch of drones, you know, shooting at military ships and things like that. The average person has been programmed to believe that because of what we've seen in Hollywood. Hollywood has us programmed into believing this narrative. However, the truth is, in my opinion, and based on my research, I just don't see something like that happening. To me, it's laughable that type of situation would even occur.
Well, let me take it one more step. And that is, not only are the civilizations not doing that, but the organization that has been reverse engineering advanced interstellar craft for 70, 80 years. They have technologies now that are almost at parity. In other words, would be equal to or close to what an ET vehicle or NHI, non-human intelligence vehicle or craft would look like. And those are operational. And those have been used in false flag operations already. And if you doubt it, look at the testimony of Stephen Digna, right? Who was at a army base in California back around 2000, where a Raytheon triangular object that almost had AI and bio nanotechnology where it seemed to be living. And when he touched it, it would purr and make this weird sound. And that was a man-made Raytheon device. Now, if 1 million people saw that and came up close to it, or everyone in Congress and in the White House saw it, they would think it was an alien craft, and it isn't. So the other part of this is that these clunky drones that are running around New Jersey and elsewhere, that is not what they really could stage a false operation with. The operations that I know they could launch involve technologies that would really just completely deceive everyone who doesn't know about it. It's why, by the way, probably 2/3 of this brief are the proof and evidence, drawings and photographs of the actual man-made UFOs and what their capabilities are, as well as a fact sheet of phenomenon that has been staged by humans as a psychological warfare operation versus the actual. It's a one-pager, and if that's all these leaders see, it's enough. So that is very important, because most people don't realize that the technologies, this is not the 1959 to 65 early man-made UFOs that were clunking around like you see from Mark McCandlish and Brad Sorensen, the so-called ARV from the Norton Air Show in 1988. Even in 1988, those were antiques. The ones that are now operational. Now, of course, imagine, as you mentioned, Billy, trillions of dollars in black budget funding, but also some of the most brilliant scientific minds I have ever met. They're not at Harvard and MIT. They're working in these covert programs with the aerospace and other contractors in very highly compartmented secret scientific operations. And that much money and that kind of brain power over 7 or 8 decades of research, there have been big breakthroughs. And they're in the hands of a group of sociopathic warmongers. And so this puts the entire world at risk until those are actually stood down. Now, here, let me get you to the next step. So this information comes out with these whistleblowers and the proof. The next step is that the United States government and others are going to have to authorize operations to stand down those weapon systems, because we are using very advanced technologies. And I was at 2 black sites, a little over a year ago, right before I was almost killed in a terrible accident, where we were present over 2 black sites that had these electromagnetic pulse and scalar weapon systems where they target and knock down the ET craft. And I have the video and photographs of them and the underground opening point for one of them. And so this has all been handed over to the government investigators, by the way. But after I handed over that videotape and photographs from that chopper I was in with this guy who's defecting, he's the head guy from these black sites, who's a senior operator, he's a non-official cover. So I can't say more than that right now. But I know what he's assigned to, I know what his cover is, and I know him very well. But that information, when he showed me what these capabilities were, how they were doing, was astounding, because it also involved the use of a type of psionic interface, where a conscious thought interface can attach to technologies to hijack or move over these black sites, ET craft, so they can be hit with these weapons. He is going to disclose that methodology. It's going to be utterly shocking. It's going to prove everything I've been saying since 1991, when I wrote the paper about consciousness-assisted technology and technology that is assisting consciousness, and that the interstellar civilizations have that, but those have been reverse engineered and used as weapon systems by these covert programs. So we would have to have several hours here for me to unpack what that technological...
E vocês, o que acharam? Seria tecnologia humana mesmo? A verdade é que até agora, durante a gravação desse vídeo, não temos respostas definitivas sobre a invasão de drones em Nova Jersey. E a mídia, surpreendentemente, não dá importância para isso. Antigamente chamaríamos de OVNIs ou UFOs. Agora a moda é chamarmos essas luzes de drones. Enfim, seriam eles uma tecnologia militar secreta? Um primeiro contato com uma civilização extraterrestre? Ou algo mais além da imaginação? Deixe seu comentário e nos vemos no próximo vídeo, onde continuaremos desvendando os mistérios que desafiam nossa realidade. O desconhecido esteve sempre mais próximo do que imaginamos. Vamos desvendá-lo?